My beloved soul, pause for a moment. Do not rush. Do not scroll. Do not look away. Something is unfolding that you were never meant to miss. Something so precise, so divinely timed, that your presence here right now is already part of it. Stay with me, because what I am about to reveal touches the quiet places of the heart, the places no one sees, but everything is decided. Behind the scenes, away from noise and distraction, your person reached a breaking point. Not the kind the world notices, not dramatic, not chaotic, but the kind that changes a life forever. A moment where pretending became heavier than truth, where silence became louder than confession. They stood before someone who knows them deeply, someone who has seen their past, their pride, their defenses, and their wounds. And in that sacred moment, their strength finally gave way, not to weakness, but to honesty. Their voice trembled, their chest tightened, their eyes filled with tears they had been holding back for far too long. And something shocking happened. They accepted the truth they had been running from. Listen closely now. This did not happen suddenly. This moment was building quietly for months, maybe longer. Sleepless nights where your name surfaced without permission. Busy days that could not distract the ache. Smiles that fooled everyone except their own heart. Moments where they picked up their phone, stared at it, and put it back down, again and again. And when the question was finally asked, "What's really wrong?" their body answered before their mouth could lie. Their eyes spoke. Their breath betrayed them. And then, almost in a whisper, they said your name. Once your name left their lips, the walls collapsed. They admitted something they had never allowed themselves to fully face. That losing you was the greatest mistake they made. That walking away was never about not caring. It was about caring too deeply and being terrified of what that meant. They confessed that loving you exposed parts of them they never knew existed, parts that demanded growth, vulnerability, and truth. And here is where the shift happened. They finally accepted that this connection is real, not fantasy, not obsession, not something that can be erased with time or distance. This is soul recognition, and once the soul recognizes something, it cannot pretend otherwise forever. They tried. Oh, how they tried. They tried to replace you. They tried to move on. They tried to convince themselves that time would dull the feeling. But time did the opposite. It made everything clearer. Clearer that you are not just someone from the past. Clearer that you are woven into their future. Clearer that no distraction ever truly worked. And when this truth was spoken out loud, something inside them softened. The burden lifted just enough for clarity to enter. For the first time, they stopped fighting themselves. They stopped arguing with the universe. They stopped denying what their heart already knew. My beloved soul, this breakdown was necessary. Before someone can return aligned, they must first fall apart honestly. Before action can happen, truth must be accepted without excuses. And now, the energy between you has shifted. You may have already felt it. A sudden calm, a strange peace, a sense that something is changing even though nothing has been said yet. That is not imagination. That is connection. When one soul releases truth, the other feels it, even across silence, even across distance. The denial is gone now. The lies they told themselves no longer work. They finally accepted that you matter more than their pride, more than their fear, more than old patterns that once controlled them. And understand this clearly. Acceptance always comes before movement. Their thoughts are changing. Their emotions are rearranging. Their resistance has dissolved. And when resistance leaves, motion begins. Slowly, carefully, but honestly. This is not about rushing. This is about readiness. They are preparing themselves internally before approaching you externally. They do not want to come back confused, half-healed, or hiding. They want to come correct. They want to come real. And that takes courage they are only now learning how to access. When someone breaks down in front of family, especially someone they trust, it means the truth can no longer be hidden. And once truth is spoken, it cannot be taken back. You did not imagine this bond. You did not hold on for nothing. This connection has been working even in silence. Stay grounded. Stay open. Stay present. What was blocked is now flowing. What was feared is now accepted. And what felt delayed is now aligning. If this message resonates, stay connected. Stay present. Quietly supporting this energy through attention, through intention, keeps this channel open. What you focus on grows. Trust what you feel. Trust what you sense. Because this story is far from over, and something enormous is already moving toward you. My beloved soul, remain here with me. Do not drift. Do not doubt. Because after that vulnerable confession, after the tears and the truth, your person did not return to life unchanged. Something subtle yet irreversible shifted within them. They walked away from that conversation carrying the same body, but not the same heart. The echo of their own honesty followed them into silence, and silence could no longer comfort them the way it once did. Later, alone in their space, the noise of the world faded, but their thoughts did not. Every word spoken replayed again and again, especially the moment they said your name out loud. That single act dismantled years of avoidance. Speaking your name forced them to face what distance could never erase. They realized how long they had been carrying this weight by themselves, mistaking isolation for strength and denial for control. For the first time, they did not push the feelings away. They sat with them. The love, the regret, the longing, the fear. And instead of running, they stayed present with it all. This was unfamiliar territory, uncomfortable, honest, transformative, and in that stillness, clarity arrived. They finally understood that the distance between you was never about a lack of love. It was about fear. Fear of vulnerability. Fear of being fully seen. Fear of losing control. But after breaking down, control no longer mattered as much as truth. Truth felt lighter. Truth felt clean. Suddenly, signs began appearing everywhere. Songs that carried your energy. Memories surfacing without warning. Ordinary moments pulling them back to you. Before, they ignored these signs, dismissed them, rationalized them away. Now, they could not. Instead of pain, these reminders brought softness, even a quiet smile that surprised them. It showed healing had begun. They realized something important. Loving you was not something to escape from. It was something that shaped them, something that revealed who they were becoming. And that realization changed how they viewed everything. The reaction of the one they confided in stayed with them too. The calm acceptance, the understanding, the reminder that real connections are rare and not easily replaced. That message landed deeper than advice ever could. It made them question why they ever believed walking away would be easier than staying. Late at night, the thought of reaching out returned, not impulsively, not emotionally, but intentionally. They stopped themselves not because they didn't want to connect, but because they wanted to do it right. They no longer want a reaction. They want alignment. Hear this clearly, my beloved soul. Silence right now does not mean absence. It means preparation. Your person is aligning their thoughts, emotions, and intentions. They are learning how to approach love without armor, without games, without fear disguising itself as logic. They also began reflecting on their past behavior, the moments they withdrew, the mixed signals, the times silence replaced honesty. They see now how deeply that may have affected you. This awareness brings guilt, but also motivation, not to repeat the past, but to transcend it. They are no longer blaming timing, no longer blaming circumstances, no longer blaming you. They are taking responsibility, and responsibility is the doorway to change. Energetically, you may feel them closer now, their thoughts brushing against yours unexpectedly, a sense of presence without communication. That is because emotional walls are coming down. When truth is accepted, the soul opens naturally. They also feel a new urge to protect this connection, to keep outside opinions from interfering, to honor what is sacred rather than expose it to noise. That is why they chose carefully who they spoke to. This is not secrecy. This is maturity. They are realizing something powerful. Love does not ask for perfection. It asks for presence, for honesty, for courage, and courage is slowly replacing fear. You may notice your own emotions shifting too. Less anxiety, less questioning, more calm. That is not accidental. When one heart heals, the other feels relief. Balance is restoring itself. Your person is no longer fighting destiny. They are no longer denying the bond. They accepted it fully in that vulnerable moment. And once accepted, it becomes impossible to ignore. They are also learning patience, understanding that some things cannot be rushed, that rebuilding trust, spoken or unspoken, requires gentleness. They want to approach you in a way that feels safe for both of you. This is not the end. This is the turning point. The moment where truth replaces fear, where honesty replaces silence, where love is no longer hidden. Continue to trust what you feel. Continue to stay grounded. Continue to honor yourself. You are not being tested. You are being aligned. What is meant for you does not disappear. It waits, it grows, it matures, and it returns when both souls are ready to meet without masks. Your person is walking toward that readiness now, step by step, thought by thought, healing by healing. Stay present, stay open, stay aware, because something profound is unfolding, and the movement you cannot yet see is already finding its way to you. My beloved soul, stay with me. Do not let your attention drift now, because after reflection comes realization, and after realization comes intention. Your person has entered a phase where avoidance no longer brings relief. Running feels heavier than facing the truth. Silence feels louder than honesty. And this is not accidental. This is the moment where inner change begins to demand outward expression. They have started noticing something undeniable. Every time they imagine peace, you are there. Not as a memory that hurts, but as a presence that feels familiar and grounding. When they think of safety, your energy appears. When they think of home, your name surfaces without effort. This is how the soul speaks when the mind finally stops resisting. Your person has been replaying moments when they felt most like themselves, moments where they didn't have to perform, explain, or defend, moments where they laughed freely, where silence felt warm instead of heavy, where they felt seen without having to be perfect. These memories are not haunting them. They are guiding them. They are realizing how rare that kind of connection is. How few people touch the soul without trying. How few bonds feel natural instead of forced. This realization carries weight, and it is changing how they value what they once risked losing. Even the way they speak about you has shifted. When your name comes up, whether aloud or in their thoughts, it is no longer followed by hesitation or emotional defense. It is followed by softness, respect, truth. This matters more than dramatic words ever could. Your person is also learning to sit with vulnerability. It still feels unfamiliar, still uncomfortable, but it no longer feels dangerous. Vulnerability now feels like honesty, and honesty feels like freedom. They are beginning to understand that hiding protected nothing and cost them everything. They are becoming aware of timing as well, not waiting out of fear, but pausing out of wisdom. They do not want to reopen old wounds carelessly. They want to approach you when their footing is steady, when their intentions are clear, when their heart can stand without collapsing into old patterns. You may feel this shift too. Moments where your heart feels lighter for no obvious reason. Thoughts of them arriving gently instead of painfully. A calm sense of readiness replacing longing. That is alignment. That is healing unfolding on both sides. Your person now understands that love cannot be hidden forever. What is real demands expression. And even though they are moving slowly, they are moving forward. This movement is quiet, but it is real. They are shedding old beliefs. That love always ends in loss. That closeness leads to pain. That vulnerability invites rejection. These beliefs no longer serve them, and they are releasing them one by one. With each release, space is created. Space for communication. Space for honesty. Space for something new, even if it reconnects to something old. They are preparing themselves mentally for a conversation that feels inevitable, not rehearsed, not dramatic, but sincere. They want to speak from truth, not fear, from presence, not panic. This is why things may feel quiet right now. Silence is not absence. Silence is integration. Everything they have realized is settling into their core, rearranging how they think, how they feel, how they will act. They no longer want to repeat cycles. They want growth. They want peace. They want something real. And deep down, they know what they shared with you was real. You are not waiting in vain. You are not holding on to illusion. You are witnessing transformation. Slow, deliberate, necessary. Trust the stillness. Trust the process. Trust your intuition. It has guided you correctly all along. When the moment comes, it will not feel forced. It will feel natural, like something that was always meant to happen but needed time to become ready. Until then, keep your energy clean. Keep your heart open but protected. You are being met halfway, even if you cannot see it yet. Your person is no longer asking whether they should act. That question has already been answered inside them. Now, they are asking how to act with integrity. They are becoming emotionally available, even if quietly. And emotional availability always precedes words and actions. This is how real change begins. Remember this, my beloved soul. When someone accepts truth in private, it shows up in their actions in public later. Seeds are being planted now. Growth is happening beneath the surface. You are not forgotten. You are not replaced. You are not invisible. You are remembered, felt, held in awareness. What is meant to reach you will move toward you naturally. No chasing, no forcing, no fear, just alignment. Hold steady. Stay present. Stay grounded. Because something meaningful is forming. And the connection you thought was paused has been quietly preparing to speak again. My beloved soul, remain attentive. This is the moment where energy turns into decision. What once lived only in reflection is now shaping intention. Your person has crossed an inner threshold, one they cannot uncross. The questions have changed. No longer, should I? But, how do I do this with truth? And when the soul shifts its questions, destiny responds. They are beginning to feel the weight of waiting too long, not with panic, but with awareness. They understand now that some moments ask to be honored, not postponed. That love, when real, does not wait forever to be acknowledged. This understanding sits quietly in their chest, firm and undeniable. Your person feels a pull to reach out, not with grand gestures, not with explanations, but with something simple, a message, a sign, a moment that says you still matter. They are thinking carefully about how to approach you without reopening wounds carelessly. This care itself is growth. Notice the shift. Before, they thought only of protecting themselves. Now, they consider your feelings. They wonder if you are healed, if you are guarded, if hearing from them would bring comfort or confusion. This tenderness was not there before, and tenderness changes everything. Their thoughts toward you have softened. Defenses have dropped. They are no longer preparing to justify themselves. They are preparing to be honest. And honesty, even when quiet, carries a power that cannot be ignored. They are also preparing themselves for uncertainty, not from fear, but from maturity. They understand now that honesty does not guarantee control over outcomes, but it does guarantee peace. And peace is what they want more than ego, more than avoidance, more than safety, disguised as distance. You may begin to notice signs around you, repeated thoughts, subtle reminders, a sense of readiness that arrives without explanation. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that movement is approaching. Your person is releasing old expectations. They are not trying to restore the past exactly as it was. They are open to building something new, stronger, more balanced, more honest, something that reflects who both of you have become, not who you once were. They are also learning to forgive themselves for silence, for fear, for missed moments. This self-forgiveness is crucial. Without it, shame would block movement. With it, courage becomes possible. Energetically, the space between you is narrowing. Even without words, communication is happening beneath the surface. Mutual understanding is forming. Awareness is sinking. This is why you are being guided to stay calm, to stay open, to resist rushing ahead mentally. Anxiety disrupts alignment. Presence strengthens it. Your person is nearly ready to step forward. They are making sure their actions will match their truth. When they come, they want to come clean. No mixed signals, no half steps, no confusion. This connection has not weakened. It has matured. It has deepened. And it survived silence because it was real. Continue honoring yourself. Continue trusting the process. You are not being asked to wait endlessly, only wisely. This chapter is nearing its turning point, and clarity is closer than it appears. The movement you could not see is beginning to reveal itself. Your person now stands at an inner doorway, fully aware of what it represents. They feel it every time your energy crosses their thoughts, every time silence feels incomplete, every time they imagine the future and you appear there naturally, without force. They are no longer asking for signs. The signs have become internal. Their heart knows, their soul knows, and now, finally, their mind agrees. They understand something deeply now. Losing you once changed them forever, and risking vulnerability again feels less painful than living with lifelong regret. This realization is steady, not emotional, grounded, not impulsive. They are practicing honesty internally, not dramatic speeches, not excuses, just truth. Simple, unfiltered, and real. Truth that admits fear without hiding behind it. Truth that acknowledges mistakes without defending them. There is nervousness, yes, but not the old kind. This is the nervousness of meaning. The kind that arises when someone is about to do something that matters. That kind of fear is courage awakening. You may feel this phase too. Heightened intuition, unexpected calm, emotional sensitivity without overwhelm. This is the energy of approach. When two souls prepare to reconnect, both feel the shift in their own way. Your person is also accepting something new. They cannot control your response. And for the first time, that does not stop them. They are choosing honesty over outcome, and that choice dissolves fear. Old versions of themselves are falling away. The one who hid, the one who avoided, the one who stayed silent. Those versions no longer fit who they are becoming. Delays happen for a reason, not as punishment, not as endless testing, but to transform both of you, to remove fear, to build awareness, to create something stronger than before. When communication comes, it will not be chaotic. It will be grounded. It will be real. It may be simple, but it will be honest. And honesty is the foundation of everything that lasts. You are not being asked to forget the past. You are being invited to meet the present with clarity. Whatever choice you make when the moment arrives will come from strength, not longing. Your person is coming forward as they truly are. And that authenticity is what your soul has been waiting for. Stay open. Stay calm. Stay true to yourself. You are not behind. You are not late. You are precisely where you need to be. And something profound is preparing to reveal itself to you. My beloved soul, stay present. This is the threshold where truth becomes destiny. Everything that has unfolded until now has been preparation for this moment. The hesitation, the silence, the inner battles. None of it was wasted. Your person now stands in a place where avoidance no longer feels possible, where pretending costs more than honesty, where silence feels heavier than speaking from the heart. They feel it clearly now. Every time your energy crosses their mind, every time a future thought forms and you appear in it naturally, without effort, they no longer question why this happens. They understand it. The connection is not something they can think away. It lives deeper than logic. Your person is no longer asking the universe for signs. The signs have become internal. Their heart knows. Their soul knows. Their body responds. And finally, their mind has stopped arguing. This alignment creates movement that cannot be stopped, only timed. They understand something fundamental now. Losing you once reshaped them, and risking vulnerability again feels less painful than carrying lifelong regret. This truth does not come with chaos. It comes with calm certainty, the kind that anchors action. They are rehearsing honesty quietly within themselves. Not speeches, not dramatic confessions, just truth. Truth that admits fear without excuses. Truth that acknowledges mistakes without defense. Truth that says, I was scared, I was wrong, and I still care. There is nervousness, yes, but it is not the old fear that paralyzed them. This is the nervousness of meaning, the kind that arises when someone is about to step into something real. This is courage waking up. You may feel this phase in your own way, a strange calm mixed with emotional sensitivity, heightened intuition, moments where you feel deeply connected without knowing why. This happens when two souls are nearing a point of expression. Your person has also accepted something crucial. They cannot control how you will respond. And for the first time, that does not stop them. They are choosing honesty over outcome, peace over pride, allegiance over avoidance. Old versions of themselves are dissolving. The one who hid, the one who delayed, the one who convinced themselves silence was safer. Those versions no longer fit the person they are becoming. Understand this clearly. The delays were not meant to break you. They were meant to transform both of you, to remove illusions, to build awareness, to mature the connection so it could stand without fear. When communication happens, it will not feel chaotic. It will feel grounded. It will feel sincere. It may be simple, but it will be honest. And honesty is the foundation of anything that lasts. You are not being asked to forget the past. You are being invited to meet the present without fear. Whatever choice you make will come from strength, not longing. Your person will come forward as they truly are. Not polished, not perfect, but real. And authenticity is what your soul has been waiting for. My beloved soul, remember this always. What is meant for you does not rush, but it does not disappear. It arrives when alignment is complete, when fear no longer leads, when truth becomes unavoidable. Stay open, stay calm, stay grounded in your own worth. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be. And now, as this chapter nears its reveal, I ask you to stay connected to this energy, not through force, but through presence. When messages like this resonate deeply, it is because you are meant to hear them. Remaining present, supporting this space, returning to it, these are ways of saying yes to alignment without saying a word. Hold your heart steady. Keep your spirit clear. Trust what you feel. The movement you could not see is becoming visible. The truth that lived in silence is preparing to speak. And the connection you felt but could not prove is approaching its moment of expression. Something truly meaningful is waiting for you. And when you look back at this moment, you will understand why everything unfolded the way it did.